I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, awkward, she's just forgotten her words. But I haven't. That was 7 seconds of silence. How do you feel in those 7 seconds? Maybe a little uneasy? Imagine 7 minutes, 7 days, 7 weeks, 7 years of silence. Come back with me to April 2009. I'm sitting in a waiting room. It's a rather plush space, black leather sofas, fluffed up velvet cushions. I've got a china teacup in my hand with my favorite Earl Grey. I'm flicking through the pages of the latest edition of House and Gardens. And I can smell lavender filling the room, purposefully placed so that all who sit here feel relaxed and calm. And it's working. I'm feeling calm and in control. After a little while, my eyes get distracted by the clock on the back wall. It's been a while. Where are they? What's taking so long? And then I see his smiley face peering round the corner, his sparkling eyes and his contagious smile. He's a bit like that boy from Home Alone, really cheeky but very, very resourceful. And he's holding the hands of the specialist. Mrs. Patel, your son, he is adorable. He really wanted to play more than he wanted to do the test today, but we've done all the tests. Let me just ask you, how long has he been deaf? What? Deaf? I didn't know he was. I feel my son's hands on my cheeks. Mummy, why are you crying? Have you ever had a moment when what you've just heard drowns everything else out? Well, I had so many questions, but it wasn't long before Lady Spice appeared in my inner boardroom. Lady Spice with her ginger hair and her paprika dress. Call yourself a mother? Your son can't hear for 7 years. And you don't even notice. What sort of failure of a mother are you? And you think you're a doctor as well? Diagnosing people all day long, and you can't even diagnose your son. You had 7 years. Well, I don't want to hear Lady Spice in my inner boardroom. So I decide, and I make a decision to be the best mum, the best wife, the best daughter, the best doctor, and I get busy. I allow the noise of busyness to fill my space, the early morning alarm ringing to wake me up early so I can fit more in, the taps on the keyboard all day long, the ping on my phone telling me what to do and where to do it and how to do it. Ping, 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 ping. I get filled with the noise of busyness. Do this, do that, go here, go there, read that, be here, learn that. I turn into a human to-do list. Have you ever felt your life has become one long to-do list? But there's still a sound in my head that I can't quite switch off. It's sad Susan. She's also in my inner boardroom. Sad when she looks at my son and wonders what his semi-silent life is like. So this year, the 1st of June, 2022, I decide to step into the silence to see if I can experience just a little bit of what my son experiences. I step on a plane and I head off into the mountains of Spain to Andalusia, where I sit in silence for 7 days, Not a word comes out of my mouth. Now, my friends, they say to me, it's a time in my life when I'm closing one chapter on one decade and opening up the other half century of my life. My friends say to me, what do you want to do that for? Let's party instead. And my mum, she worries about everything in the world. She is horrified that I'm off traveling on my own. And my husband, he thinks he's the family comedian. He does this strange dance around the kitchen table, singing, "No more nagging without chin wagging." He says, go for as long as you want. So what do 7 days of silence teach me? What do they tell me about the gift of silence? 3 things, 3 gifts that I want to share with you today, 3 lessons that I learned. The first gift of silence is awareness. What do I mean by awareness? I simply mean noticing. So let's do this together right now. Simply, can I ask you all just to put your hands on your knees? Perfect. And I want you to just be silent and do nothing but focus on your breath. Nothing else at all. Close your eyes and let's do this together. Okay, you can open your eyes. Did you manage to focus on your breath, your whole breath, and nothing but your breath for that entire time? Or was there a little bit of distraction? Maybe you were thinking, how long is this going to last for? Or maybe you were thinking, I wonder if everyone else has got their eyes shut, or is it just me? You see, the reason for this is that your mind is like a snow globe, always easily unsettled, a little distraction and it's stirred up. But what did you do just then? What you did in just those few seconds was that you tuned out in order to tune in. And that's what silence gives you. It gives you the ability to listen to the signals of your own mind and your own body, which is constantly sending signals to you. The signals of hunger and fullness, the signals of pain, of discomfort, of comfort, the signals that say, go to sleep or stay awake. All those signals just waiting to be heard and understood. You see, silence makes the unheard heard. It makes the invisible visible. It lets you understand the chatter of your mind. So my invitation to you all today is, from this moment on, let's just 7 seconds of silence into your day. Don't turn on that TV when you walk down for breakfast. Don't put on the radio when you step into the car. Don't put in your earpods when you're out for a run. Don't interrupt that next conversation that you have. Just listen to understand. Raise your awareness. Listen to your own heartbeat, your own mind, your own breath. And the second thing, the second gift of silence, is the gift of wonder. What do I mean by wonder? I simply mean asking yourself, how is this even possible? You see, by wondering, I did this one thing in silence in the mountains. I fell in love. I fell in love with an orange. How did I do that? I did that simply by wondering. You can do this now with me. Just wonder, how did this orange get to be in your hands? Wonder about all the hands that it's been through before it's got to yours. The hands that sowed the seed, the hands that turned the soil, the hands that plucked the fruit. And just wonder how this beautiful, beautiful orange got enriched by the sun and ended up being one of the most nutritious things that you can eat, filled with the exact nutrients that you need. Just wonder, how is that even possible. So my second invitation to you all today is to look at ordinary things in the most beautiful way possible and just wonder, how is this even possible? And the third gift of silence is the gift of enthrallment. When was the last time you felt completely enthralled, enchanted, enriched, so much so that you just cannot stop smiling? Think of this now. Think of something that makes you smile. Raise your hand if you've got a picture in your mind. Right. Now let it show up on your face. Here's my third invitation. Do not get out of bed in the morning. Do not let your feet touch the ground until you've put a smile on your face. That's how you'll set the tone up for your day. You see, being in silence for me showed me that silence isn't a place of emptiness. I stopped worrying about my son, because what I've learned is that silence is a place of fullness. It's full of courage and beauty and wisdom, and all of that grows through silence. And all you need to do is to take a pause. Which is why I would love for all of you to have a little gift from me, which is a pause button. So just come and see me on my table outside later. Ooh, I would love to share my gift of silence with you. Simply a pause button. Keep it with you in your handbag, on your desk, on your table. Hold it. Use it as your signal to take a pause, to step into silence and experience the awe of life with awareness and wonder and enthrallment. Now, you might still be wondering, why am I so passionate about the gift of silence? Why, in fact, do I consider silence to be a missing medicine? Well, there's a whole body of scientific research that tells us about the benefits of silence. A 2003 paper that showed that just 2 minutes of silence lowers your blood pressure and it reduces your stress levels. Just 2 minutes a day of silence and your stress levels are down. Another paper in 2016, this was published in the International Journal of Medicine, and this showed that with silence, you actually create new brain cells. Imagine that, you're creating new brain cells just by allowing silence in your life. And not just that, these brain cells are creating a part of your brain called the hippocampus. It's the part where you lay down memories and learning. And who would love a better memory, yes or no? Yes. I would love to not be able to say, where are my keys every single day, right? So just a few minutes of silence and you're building memory, you're building creativity, you're enhancing your productivity, you're getting less stressed. How incredible. But that's not the only reason. The other reason is because I've been a doctor now, a medical doctor, for over 25 years. And in that time, I've seen many, many lives which are so much shorter than they should have been, so much shorter. And in this world that is filled with beauty and belonging and courage and compassion, I truly believe that we all deserve to live our longest, happiest, healthiest lives possible. And that's what I love doing. All the clients that I have, all the patients that I have who are members of my Lifestyle First Lounge, I give them tools and techniques and tests to extend their lives and make sure that they are at their happiest and their healthiest. Because interestingly, we're living in this age right now that we can access so much information about ourselves. I've talked to you about the signals that your mind and body are constantly sending you, which you can access just by tuning in. But we're in this age of technological advancement like we've never been in before. We can measure all sorts of things. Put your hand up if you've got a watch on your hand, any way of tracking any data on you. So many of us have got wearables that track how we sleep, how we move, how we eat. We've got access to genetic tests that tell us how we're made, metabolic tests that tell us how we function. And if we access all this data and information on ourselves, we can utilize that in a very, very specific way, because what we need is to care about ourselves. I believe that every single one of us here is united by having one unifying role in this life. And that role is simply to take care, the utmost care of this vessel that we have, our vessel for life, your heart, your mind, and your body. And how do you do that? You do that by caring about yourself. You do that through self-care. And I'm not talking about senseless self-care, the sort of stuff you pick up off the Instagram and social media and try and have a go. I'm talking about strategic self-care, using all this data that is accessible to you. Because what I do for my patients now is I reverse aging. Oh yes, I can make you live longer, younger. And why am I saying this with such confidence? Well, you know, earlier I told you that I turned 50 last month, and incidentally, it's a birthday that I share with my son as well. What a beautiful gift for a mother to receive on her birthday than the gift of life, right? So I turned 50 this year, but that was just... Oh, there's more, there is more. But that was just the number of candles on my cake that I blew out. My biological age, my inner age, the age that actually matters, the age that is predicting exactly how long I'll live and how well I'll live, my inner age, and you can woo at this, is 20. This year, I turned 30 years younger. Oh, and you can too. You absolutely can. I'm here doing biological age tests today, so if you do want to know exactly how old you are, then come on over to my table. We can have a chat about it a little bit later. And really, my final invitation to you all is, if I give you my autograph, will you give me your blood? So just one final thought to leave you all with today, which is, if you have time for your health today, then you'll have health for your time tomorrow. Lots of time, lots of tomorrows. Thank you.